Good Monday morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, who would have thought that it was like 58 this morning in April in Texas because we got like this big cold front and a ton of rain. So who would have thought, and especially in April. But you guys listen to Author Talk with me, Amy Russell. Dina's on with us today, and our lovely author guest is Chad. So you guys, let's talk about the weekend. I'm going to have some photos to share. So if you want to see them, you can watch us live or you can tune into our channel afterwards. But my weekend was just surviving the rain was one. But Josh had this idea. We had talked about it for a while. We wanted to add patio lighting. And
Yeah,
so,
I doubt that was
oh,
Josh's idea.
hey, hey. It wasn't. But we're going to go with it. It was mine. So
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
we added
So,
like 200 feet of lights. So that's what the whole thing looks like, which is just nice because summer nights are coming. I want to sit outside and enjoy it and, just have fun with it. So that's
Yeah, but this is
currently happening.
because you'll only be able to sit outside for like 10 minutes.
No, because I have a whole setup. I got like little rocking chairs and I have my fire pit out there and I like to sit
okay.
by
I
the
want you to
fire.
know how
So
nice I am today.
I
Today,
know.
Adina has set herself up for so many jokes just
Yeah.
then, and I've declined to attack. This is how wonderful I am today. I just want you.
We are so
I'm gonna
proud.
make that a part of the record.
What
Okay.
jokes?
We're just
Uh,
so
I'm
proud.
getting.
Don't ask for them. Take the win that you didn't get them. Take the win. Take the
I'll go
win.
after Chad in a minute anyway.
Last time, I don't know if you guys remember. So, Russell, you were on a cruise last time, and I want to talk about it. But the show before you went on your cruise, he was telling me to stay muted and like all this stuff. So I'm grateful that you're not in that mood today. I'm very grateful. But here comes my cat. But you guys, what all did you guys do this weekend? If you're in Texas, do you enjoy the cold front? Do you think it's too cold to be, in April? Because I do. I would prefer my pool, to be honest. So I'm just curious. But what all did you guys do this weekend?
Okay, I'll
Russell,
talk
what you do?
first. Okay, I'll talk first. So we did a lot this weekend, but it doesn't matter because Melinda Sunday night baked this loaf of bread, sourdough homemade bread that filled the house. And when she was finished, she brought it to me to smell. And oh, it changed the whole weekend. It's just the smell from that bread. And Chad, have you read Proust?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Proust is all about memories and thinking back. And the smell of that bread hit me. And all I could remember was I'm an old man. And when I was a little boy, they still made bread every day at the school for the kids. And I remember, and sometimes you would get the rolls and they were still hot from when
Oh,
they baked them at school. And I remember that smell. And when my wife brought me that loaf of bread, it took me all the way back to 6 years old. It was an unbelievable both sensation, but the smell. And that was my weekend. Nothing else matters.
oh my gosh. Russell, have you seen the movie If? That's about the imaginary friends. No? Okay. So, what you just said was like the whole plot for this movie, right? So, these imaginary friends are lost because their kids have grown up, right? And they can't move on to a new kid. And and they're talking about how older, when you get older, you still need these imaginary friends. And it's like a memory, a smell, or a photo that like takes you back to being that kid at that age. So it just made me think about it because I was like a complete ball bag during this movie, which has never happened. I'm not a big crier. And I just sobbed the whole time because I was like, oh my gosh, we still do need our friends. It was just hot. It was a day. Okay. It just was a day. But like you and the sourdough bread, like taking you back to being 6 years old just reminded me of that movie. And it's actually legit. So
Thank
I
you,
like it.
Amy.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Chad, what did you do this weekend?
So you got to remember, I'm a displaced Texan. So I live in Virginia, and I actually have a farm that we call Lone Star Farms,
Very
and
cool.
I have built what a place there, but it's almost like an Old West saloon. So I've got all my Texas artifacts from my grandfather and all these things. It's everything that together would, if you sold it at a garage sale, would probably be worth like $25, but they're the best heirlooms in our family. So spent time out there with some of my closest friends, all of whom flew in from Texas, from Dallas and Austin. So I had a great weekend.
Awesome.
And I was in the spirit. I was in the spirit of Texas and listened to a lot of outlaw country and just kind of got away for a while.
Nice. That's a good weekend. I like it. And you brought Texas up to you. I love that 100% because I don't ever leave Texas, so I like it.
Well, we do have the best barbecue at Lone Star Farms because there's an art and a
Chad,
science.
That's
to that.
interesting.
Yeah.
What type of barbecue is it? Is it Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama? What kind of barbecue is your version of barbecue? Okay.
It is Texas, and
I actually think South Carolina barbecue is better than Texas barbecue.
Yeah. So, well, we'll give you a pass on that one, but beef ribs and brisket, and all cooked with oak. I have white oak out there. I don't have post oak like I would in Austin, but on a huge smoker, and do really kind of the Aaron Franklin way of doing it is how we operate.
Okay, that's a beautiful description.
I love it. And you gave Russell a slight hell for him picking South Carolina.
Like
I can't believe it. You are a Texan, Russell. And you don't like Texas barbecue?
I do. I love it. I'm just saying that, and if you're listening to this, and if you've tried the different type of barbecues, or if you traveled, the barbecues. There's subtle differences, and that mustard yellow, what is it, vinegar based or mustard based South Carolina barbecue sauce that they cook that pork in? It's just the greatest thing in the world to me. I love it.
Well, that's okay, Russell. We all forgive you. But Dina, what did you do this weekend? Did you do anything fun?
Or work?
Well, I made a dirty martini bean salad.
See, I love that stuff, Dina. That sounds great to me.
Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. And then I made Sandy a batch of my Santa Fe rice to take over to her.
Nice.
And then I wrote 3 articles from my blog about Draft to Digital and all their craziness. So,
yeah, I know. That's a talk. That could be a whole show in and of itself. The changes just in, the writing and publishing community, which Russell wants to talk about too. Which
I'm dying to talk about.
We're going to talk about it for sure. Oh, okay. He'll pop back on, but we're dying to talk about it. So Russell, why don't you thank everyone, and then let's dive into that conversation.
Okay. I want to thank everybody listening to us. We're like top 1% of good pods, top 10% for author podcast on the podcast channels. And we've been around for 10 years. And we want to thank you for being with us. We're very humbled by it. And we love doing this. When we first went from just doing interviews online to becoming a podcast channel, and on the podcast channels, I never could find us because there's like 1,000 author interview shows. There's probably more than 1,000. I could never find us. Then Amy and Dina made some changes, and even a boomer like me can find us on the podcast channels now. Amy, where can they find us?
Yeah, so you guys can find us anywhere that you can search for a podcast. If you want visuals, there's YouTube, our Facebook group, any one of our social media channels. If you want to listen to us, it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Good Pods. You can go to Google Play. You can go to iTunes, really anywhere. You can find us. Type in Author Talk, look for the crimson, red, and gold, because Dina is the lovely one that helped us rebrand a couple years ago. And you can see how we started 10 years ago to where we are now.
It was bad.
It's
We
so
were bad.
exciting. It's
We were so
exciting
bad.
to watch it, to watch the growth. It's so exciting to see. But Russell, you wanted to talk about something that you were seeing in the industry. So start the conversation. I don't want to start it for you.
Okay, so it was based upon an article from Wire magazine. Uh, the new business plan of a bunch, I wouldn't even call them authors. They write books, they have AI write books for them. They write 30, 40, 50 books. They put them on Amazon and they market them as a group, and that's how they're doing business. And uh, so they can, instead of it taking a year or 6 months that they write it, they just have AI write it.
Uh-huh.
Then they market it as a book. And they do it in mass. 30 to 50 books is part of their business plan so
Mm-hmm.
they can market it economically. And a lot of books on Amazon are that now. And I think that's a big problem. Dina, you're
It is a big
smiling.
problem, and that's. I mean, there's always been a lot of crap, right? I mean, just
Right.
crap. But and I love AI. I use AI. I mean, because
All day.
I'm so when I'm thinking it's in bullet points, right? And when I send a client an email, I come off as a jackass, right? I mean, I come off as really mean, and I am mean.
I understand.
But so, like, I tell my AI, this. I need to sell this client this. So he writes it, so I sound nice.
I know. I do the exact same thing. I actually tell my AI, Chat GPT, I actually tell it to put this in a form that is polite. I actually have to do that. So,
Well,
I,
and see, and I run on and run on and run on, and I'm like jumping all over the place. It's like I have ADD when I'm writing, right? So I tell him, edit this for content and clarity, and make me sound nice. But I tell him exactly, make me sound nice, because I'm just bitchy.
but
Well,
your point on the subject is
There's AI can't write and can't edit. I mean, you still have to double check all of this stuff. I've tried to get it to edit stuff, and it's been crap.
well, I think so. Okay, so there's some people that are using it to help them outline, like they have this book and like the idea and the concept of it, and sometimes there's like a writer's block, right? Which I can totally get, and then you
that's not
manipulate
what we're
it.
talking about.
No, I know, but AI doesn't have like humanistic, like qualities in terms of writing. But I will give you something else to think about. So Josh had talked to me about this a couple weeks ago, and Josh is an avid user of Claude, right? So Josh is my husband, if you guys are new. And he's an avid user of Claude, but
Which one's Claude?
I don't know. It's like up there, I guess, with Anthropic.
Okay.
And so he uses it, does coding and stuff too. And he was telling me that he thinks in the next like 5 years, right? And this isn't meant to be offensive. This is just a conversation, that the nonfiction genre in terms of publishing will be like obsolete, because you can get all the information, whatever, that you would be searching for in a nonfiction book, self-help, going through grief, whatever. You could just have AI give you those steps or how to do it or whatever. So that genre probably would be struggling within that. But I also think that it's been a huge, just caused the industry, like in terms of writers, to plummet because of AI, and especially in the self-published category, because they were just kind of gaining traction. And then when you have a ton of people going and publishing things that were written, edited, and put together by AI, and you push it out there, it kind of brings down that whole kind of publishing venture, I guess, in a whole. And so it doesn't have the credibility. And so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a scary time for sure. Like I don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy to think about that.
Well, and a lot of that is the whole reason that Draft to Digital is making their change, because they want to make these people that are putting, and I don't want to call them authors, but they want to make the people that are putting out low quality books, you got to pay to play, is basically what it comes down to from now on Drafted Digital.
Well, for that, yeah. But I mean, you have all these other ones like Amazon. When you upload, right, it asks how much of it was AI. Was it the text? How much of the text? What platform did you use, right, to get all this information? But I don't know. I think it's a very, I'm usually a very optimistic person, but the amount of like AI produced books that are going out there, and like covers are different. Like I'm not even going to get into covers,
We're
but
not
like
talking about that.
just
We're just talking
books, right?
about the body of the
I
books.
know, but there's so many out there, even on my web-based reading apps, right? And I have a lot of them, and I'll indulge it for a little bit, and then I can't really indulge it. But you got, it's not just the body part of it. So, like, I've told you how some of these books get turned into like these mini short video series, right? So you've had AI go and just create them, right? So there's different pronunciations every time about it. And so I don't know. I think to an extent you have to embrace AI and that and how it can help you. But I think just leveraging it completely is more of like I'm going to say detriment to yourself, but I don't know if that's the right word. But I think it's more of like a hindrance to just the writing community as a whole. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I know it's expanded piracy of books and scenes from books. So I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, but me and Dina have been having a lot of conversations about this topic. So it's definitely going around for sure.
Chad, are you back? And what do you think?
I am back. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. I had an expert fix it. I was trying to do this by myself. Yeah, I'm hoping that, AI, doesn't completely pervade the creative writing process. I know people exploit it. I think all of us to some extent use it to, define, find a good word or something like that. But once you start, I'm not a big fan of people actually writing with it. And I don't really want to read a book that's been AI generated.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you can always tell. Yeah, you can always tell.
It's in everything. I mean, if you watch YouTube, half the videos, it seems like, are, AI generated with just crap and stuff that's wrong. So then you sit here and you think AI is getting shit wrong everywhere. There's no way AI is ever going to take over the world. We don't have to worry about Terminator coming true.
Dude, but I don't know if it's Terminator. So you know what like comes to mind for me, and I don't know, maybe this is a stretch, but my mind seems to stretch sometimes, is the movie WALL-E. You remember how everybody had like the robots, and it was like you could lay down, you had like the space machine that would just fly you everywhere, and you had TVs and you had everything at your fingertips. So there was no need to like walk around. There was no need to have conversations because you could just, stream and do everything like that, and they were all up in space. And so it kind of reminds me of that. It's like, I feel like to an extent you need to embrace AI, but I feel like at the same time, it's also kind of like, I don't know, this is a mean way of saying it, but like making people dumber because they're not thinking for themselves. They're not researching things for themselves. They're not trying to educate themselves. They're just going off of the easy route. So I feel like in a sense, it's just going to make societies dumber to an extent. So I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, but I am one that likes to go down a bunch of rabbit holes to find information and see both sides. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
So Huxley wrote Strange New Worlds in the 20s and early 30s, and that's what he predicted then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He
it'll be
predicted
interesting.
that unlike 1984, where it was written that they would not let you read books, Huxley said in the future, you won't want to read books.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that because you could upload a book now and been like, hey, tell me the summary of this book or give me a good review of, of
I know,
general
and
review.
I need to confess something. I did that
Oh,
this weekend on a book.
so
Uh, tell me, it's the new movie that seems to be a big hit. It's about the guy that's sent into space, uh, Hail Mary.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually asked AI, tell me this. What's that movie about? Tell me the whole story. So tell me the whole movie.
Oh, well, that's different. That's for a movie. Like, I'm not one,
See,
like,
I did that by
you
going
can't
on
spoil it for me.
Wikipedia. I do that
Oh,
by
I
going on
don't know.
Wikipedia. I do cheat that way.
Yes, but now you don't even have to do that. You just have someone in your ear telling it to you.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Let's just, I don't know. We just have to play it by ear, but there are some concerning things happening. The draft to digital is one. We'll have to talk about that in another episode when Dina's less on fire about it for sure. But let's get Chad talking about Mob Justice, which is your newest scavenger hunt thriller. And I want to hear all about it. I'm a big thriller lover, so tell us about Mob Justice, and then we'll kind of dive in deeper.
So, Mob Justice is a book about organized crime, but in a little different way. It's a sequel to Scavenger Hunt, and Scavenger Hunt was my first book and involved a young prosecutor at the Department of Justice who really was a part of a clandestine team that was put together to prevent terrorist attacks, and they started taking liberties outside of the law. And Blake Hudson, who's the protagonist, got caught up in that and was very naive, but then eventually found his way through it. And so he's back now, and the book really starts with him being in the doghouse for some of the things that they did in the other group, and that he is, instead of let go from the department, he's sent to the Organized Crime Strike Force. And the Organized Crime Strike Force was the original organized crime faction within the Department of Justice. My mentor was one of the charter members of that group, and I've revitalized them and brought them back. And in the same time, we're talking about Chicago Mafia. I've also kind of enhanced the Chicago outfit, which is Capone's gang, and then also resurrected the North Side gang, which was the more Irish side, north side of the river there in Chicago. And so Blake gets caught up in it again, and this time he is really battling the consigliere of the Chicago outfit, which just happened to clerk, just like he did, for the Supreme.
Oops.
Uh-oh. I think he's going to have to get advice from his expert again.
Sorry, he said, I know it was going to be Supreme Court, but so this book, until he comes back, so this book came out on March 17th.
Sorry, let me know when you can hear me.
Yeah, okay, so you cut off at Supreme Court.
I don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us?
No,
No, he can't hear us.
Okay, Amy, go ahead and explain till he'll respond when he can hear.
Yeah, so it came out on March 17th.
I can hear now. I can hear you now,
Yay!
Russell.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You cut off right at Supreme Court.
Calling in from work, and they don't like easy here.
I get it. Totally understand.
Are you still working for the government, even though you're writing?
No. So I'm now chief legal officer of a company that builds warships. And so looking out my window right now, I can see an aircraft carrier, and we're also building some nuclear submarines. So it's pretty close to government work, but we're definitely private.
Okay.
Nice.
So, well, you had a front row seat to some major real world events. How much of that actually makes it on the page versus what you can't say?
Yeah, I think impressions of things that I lived through, particularly at a younger age, have resonated and turned into stories. They're nothing classified, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I think for all of my scavenger hunt books, what I'd like to do is, in a non-political way, take people behind the curtain and show them kind of how things really work. And the Department of Justice covers such a broad swath of really great issues that you can just the ideas there are just pretty endless. So it's I've already got like 10 other ideas in my head of things I'd like to write about, but it covers the gamut.
He's frozen again.
But this makes it really interesting because his book is, like an organized crime thriller and his series is a thriller. And so it just, I don't know, it keeps me on the edge of my seat in terms of what the book is about and stuff. But so it's an explosive, I'll just read this whole description like the end of it. It's an explosive series to the scavenger hunt. Loyalties blur, alliances shift, and the real power may not belong to the men who hold the gun, but those who are pulling the strings. That's like my most favorite part of the description on your website is that right there, because it makes me want to read the book. So I love it. Anyways, Dina, I'm sorry. Continue with your question.
No, well, so your books are grounded in reality. Is there a line between this would get me in trouble if it were real? Or do you think that there's something that you write there like no one's ever going to believe this could actually happen, and you're like, this is so close to what actually happened?
Or can you not hear Dina at all?
I don't think he can hear. I think he's frozen again. Well, fiddlesticks. But see, he's like the perfect person. I've been binging The West Wing, which is like my all-time favorite TV series, right? I think it's the greatest television show ever. And so I can't tell you how many times I've binged the entire.
I think some of the writers that they use on some of the episodes are that good. And I think other writers they use to write other episodes become nothing but preachy and unwatchable.
Well,
and you never know which show it's going to be. Are you back, Chad? Can you hear us? He can't hear us yet.
The first 4 seasons were awesome. The first 4 seasons just blew it out of the wall.
And then they changed producers.
Yeah, Alan Sorkin left.
And it was terrible. Chad, can you hear us yet?
I still don't think he can.
Okay. Chad can't hear us yet.
So, but it he wrote Scavenger Hunt, which seems to deal with like the DOJ and counterterrorism storyline. So that, I really like geopolitical thrillers. I think they're interesting because, you're thinking about what could happen and, is this even possible or is it just completely fake? Is he frozen again?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're trying to freeze on us too, by the way.
But it feeds into organized crime, though. Like, God, what was that movie that was like organized crime? And it was
wasn't Chad? Hasn't he been on the show before?
Yeah, we talked about
his
Scavenger
first
Hunt.
book,
Yeah,
and it was so interesting. And if you want to go back and find and listen to that interview about the previous book, we actually had a full interview where Chad was able to be on the whole time. And it sounded so great. And I'm excited that he's got the sequel. I just wish we could talk about it. We might want to reschedule in the future and try it again.
Try it again. I don't know. Maybe like, are we having sunspots and solar flares?
No, because Amy and I are fine, but you're freezing every 2 minutes.
Well, here, so I'm going to read the whole description that's on his website, okay? And if something doesn't sound right, roll with me. It's Monday morning, okay? After surviving a terroristic nightmare, Justice Department lawyer Blake Hudson takes a new enemy, the Chicago Mafia. Assigned to the organized crime strike force, he dives into a world that's nothing like movies. The Chicago outfit may still live in Al Capone's shadow, but its power has evolved, slicker, smarter, and more dangerous than ever. At its center is Enzo Renzini, a polished consigliere, with an Ivy League mind and a conscience buried beneath layers of loyalty. To Blake, he's the key to bringing the outfit down. The others, he's a marked man. Ruthless killers close in, and neither Enzo nor Blake know who's behind the crosshairs. When a secret meeting between rival gangs threatened to ignite a citywide war, Blake races to stop it, only to uncover something far darker than mob violence, a hidden network whose reach extends deep into America's institutions. And this explosive sequel to Scavenger Hunt, loyalty blurs, alliances shift, and the real power may not belong to men who hold the guns, but to those who pull the strings. I don't know about you, but if you like thrillers and organized crime, that would be your ticket. I do enjoy those types of books, but man, Russell, Dina, do you guys know there is a movie that's it's organized crime central. It takes place in the city, and it has like Robert De Niro's in it. Like all the big heads are in it. I think Ben Affleck is in it at the time. Do you remember the name of that? Because that's what this gives me vibes of.
Which one? There were 100 of them.
Start listing some off and it'll click with me. But I don't know. New York, Mop, I don't know. It took place in New York.
You had Heat, which was amazing, and had De Niro and Pacino in it. And then you've got, let's see, Ben Affleck. What mob movie was Ben Affleck in?
Was Ben Affleck in that Boston movie about the Boston mob?
I
That
think
might be
so.
it. Like
You know what?
Survivor. Or...
I'm legit gonna just Google Ben Affleck movies. see what
IMDb?
see what pops up for sure.
Well, Google.
I'm thinking of State of Play. Russell Crowe was in that movie. That's what I'm thinking of. Is State of Play. I don't know why, but that's where my mind goes.
I never saw it.
You haven't
Never
seen
saw
that
it.
one?
Never even heard of it.
Okay, listen, I'm the youngest one on this show, and it came out in 2009. And if I've seen it, I know that y'all have heard of it. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you because you need to watch
Oh
it.
no,
It's a good
09.
one.
I was spending a lot of time in the bars. You know?
Russell
I
is
was watching
mortified.
a lot of
I was unprepared for such honesty.
And he's not in the mood to respond to it, which makes it even
I can't
better.
respond to it.
Oh,
I would never respond to that.
It makes it even
Oh,
better.
I
But
was.
okay, so let's talk about Chad's having problems coming back on, you guys. So we'll have to rebook him. But his book is an organized crime thriller. It's his novel, and it is Mob Justice. It's the sequel to Scavenger Hunt. So if you want to go and check them out, they're both on Amazon. Go and check him out. They're fabulous books. I did read Scavenger Hunt, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's talk about the latest thriller books that you guys have actually read. Dina, not reread, okay? JD Robb does not count. That you actually read. Like, what was the last one that you actually read and not skimmed?
Hold on.
Russell, do you
you
have
go
one?
ahead.
The Expanse series is the last
Oh,
one I read.
Yeah,
And
that's a
then
good one.
all the books.
Yeah.
And it's it's near time science fiction. It's kind of a shoot 'em up, right?
Oh, yeah. See, mine is Peter James's, and it's the Hawk.
Oh yeah,
the
because
Hawk
we
is Dead.
interviewed Peter James, and it was
Well-
very cool.
Well, yeah, I got to talk to him before on the book fest last year or last summer or something like that, and he was just fascinating. So I read a lot of his books. I watched the Gray series on the BritBox, but that book was the last thriller that I've read. That's not like a romantic thriller. It's just full on thriller.
And by the way, listeners, if you're interested, you can look back on our YouTube channel and find our interview with Peter James.
Yes. I love him. He's fantastic. Him and Russell had a good conversation about racing cars. It was
I know. He's like an
fabulous.
awesome dude.
I know. Look, I think Dina's frozen too. Oh my
I know.
gosh.
She's
It's
totally
okay.
frozen too. But
It's
we
a
can talk
fun-
about Peter James and how awesome he is.
He was cool. Chad reminds me a lot of him in terms of like writing style for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think their writing style is great. Homecoming Queen was another one that Chad had done. I haven't read that one yet though. But Scavenger Hunt was fantastic. So I did like that one. Russell, I would recommend that one to you. Russell, what is your latest like dive into this whole like romance genre? What's the latest that you've learned on it? We haven't talked about
I'm
that.
kind of got off the subject because I'm on to this whole business model of these people that refer to themselves as authors, but just like
Mhm.
Dina, I don't refer to them as authors,
Right.
that have AI produce 30, 40 movies. And the reason Wired did an article on it, because there was a guy that does this as his business that YouTube had taken off the air because he was promoting his AI produced novels, and AI
Yeah.
said they're not your novels, so
Hmm.
you can't be on YouTube promoting them. And he was angry because he said, I may not have written them, but they're my novels, and therefore I
Mm-mm.
should be able to promote them. And that was the controversy in Wire Magazine. And
Yeah,
so I've
but you
kind of
can't
moved on
copyright
to that
anything
subject.
that AI does. You can't copyright it. You
You
can't
can't.
copyright your
No,
covers.
and like that's
Copyright
okay.
your words, even if
Well,
it's your writing, your ideas.
yeah, but see, okay, here's the thing, right? And this is I had to tell Josh this too because he was all like, "You could do everything for you, la la la," and I was like, "No, it's crippling the market, right?" Because if you're talking about like in terms of like cover design, right?
It will
Okay.
destroy the market over time.
Oh
It's
my
just like
god.
the theory of money. One of the base theories is that base money or bad money chases out good money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. It's a
Yeah.
law over time. Like if uh, you have a full 14 karat gold coin and then you debase that later with a 10 karat coin. Over time, there'll only be 10 karat coins in circulation because all the 14 karat will be pulled out by people that realize they're 14 karat. And it's the same way with this. The debased literature made by AI over time will destroy the quality human made, I think.
Well, I mean,
And I
so
think it's a threat.
it is because if you think about it, right? Like, let's just talk about covers. Now, that's not what we're talking about. What we're going to talk about it now. If, when you
And you've
have
been
it,
dying to talk about
well,
covers,
no,
Samantha.
it's going to prove my point. I'm going to break this whole thing down so people understand it. So when you have an AI create a cover and you don't manipulate it and add your own touches and stuff to it, you just let it create it and do it. It's pulling from a bunch of different people's artworks or a bunch of different people's covers. So it's not you're ripping other people off, right? And then if you have it write your book, it's not just going off your concept like, oh yeah, this is such a badass idea. You're so smart. No, it's going and scavenging the web and then pulling from other people that have written about it or had the same thought. Like you don't necessarily always have original thoughts. Like other people have thought the same thing.
I wonder since it's doing that, if there's going to be a problem with plagiarism,
I
right?
mean,
Because
but
it's pulling
how?
stuff.
There already is a problem with
But
it. There is
it
already a
can't do
something.
that
Well,
because you can't
but if
copyright it.
it's going to, but if it, yeah, you're already having a problem with plagiarism. But
But yeah.
I mean, if it'll be more prevalent, like say you use this phrase and it's completely off the wall, you know, so,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't want to say anything because what I would say would not be safe for work. But you know, then you use that in a book, right? But it's kind of like your catchphrase, and you find someone else uses that in a book, and you're like, these are my words. There's no way to prove they're yours.
Well, we are headed toward that as part of court cases in the future. We know that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
because
we
you've
just don't know
had
what will happen.
but I don't even know if it's that because I mean, when I was at the Historical Novel Society 3 years ago, I want to say, yeah, 3 years ago, they had attorneys there talking about how do you copyright, your AI use, and you can't, right? But can you really sue someone over it because it's not all 100% yours. It's like bits and pieces of it, even if you copyrighted your own stuff, right? And it's kind of like pirating. I mean, your copyright doesn't stop people from pirating your shit or Amazon being like, oh,
Exactly.
I don't know which one's the actual books. And then you both lose your accounts. Like it doesn't prevent any of those things. But I mean, I don't know. I really think that it's just going to feed to, I don't know, dumbing down society, like not knowing how to research or do things. I think it'll enhance in certain aspects in terms of like coding and performing in different job areas. I think it's fantastic, but I think in terms of a creative and artistic outlet, I think it's a big
I think we
it's a
got a
big
slippery
problem.
slope coming up, and it's
Yeah.
going to take a couple of years for it to shake itself out, and people either, you know, have come up with a set of ethics to use it in terms of creative endeavors, or right now it's like there's so much fear mongering going on with it. No one knows exactly what is what, and they're freaking out. But okay, to answer the question from 10 minutes ago about the thriller book.
Oh, okay.
I read a series, and it was the first one I ever read that, wasn't J.D. Robb. That was like a geopolitical thriller is what I call it. But it's the Executive series, and it's by Gary Grossman, and there's 4 books in the series, and they're fabulous.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do that. I read the psychological thriller Silent Patient, and that one definitely stuck with me for a hot minute. It really definitely stuck with me. I feel like that one was darker than like my most dark romance. It was mentally very dark, if that makes sense. Like dark romance is just dark undertones, but the Silent Patient for me was just dark. Like I had to go and watch like a happy movie after I finished reading it, and it was like midnight. I needed something happy because it just put me in like a very dark space. So, and it made me very fearful of medical people. So, I don't know. But, I don't know. I'll get over it. That's how you know it's a good book. Russell, wouldn't you say, is if it sticks with you? For whether you enjoyed it or you're like contemplating it, but it stuck with you, that's how you know it's a good book. And if you question reality from it, I don't know. To me, that's like the definition and like every writer's dream, I would say, if it was me. But yeah, you guys, look, okay, I got to tell you guys like something. I'm very excited about it. So the month of May is a hot mess for me, but it's a hot mess full of excitement. So I have, of course, my kids have like field day coming up, and then, they're going to get out of school and do all this stuff. But my niece, my oldest niece, my first niece, is graduating high school, you guys. And she's going to my alma mater, which is UTSA. So it makes me very proud. Josh talks a lot of shit, but whatever. He's just jealous is what I say. But she graduates on the 24th at 9 a.m, and I'm not a morning person. Okay. But I'm excited to see it. She's the first one of my nieces and nephews. And so it's like a full circle moment. So I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited about my patio lights, you guys. I know no one else is, but I'm so excited for them.
Yes, though it was disgusting that you said Josh wanted. That phrase was an obvious lie as soon as you said it.
It was a slight exaggeration, okay? It was slight. It was not full on. It was slight. He's into some stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm more like trying to get my hot tub hooked up, okay? I'm getting there for sure, if I can figure out the wiring for it. But what do you guys have anything exciting happening in May? Russell, do you have any adventure plans?
We're going on another cruise that on June 27th. So in June we are. But I actually plan, like I did on the Mediterranean cruise, I actually plan on doing the show from the ship.
Well, that'll be fun. And the 27th, that's the week of my birthday. My birthday's
the 30th.
Yeah, my birthday's the 30th. Russell, act like you knew that. We've known each other for 10 years. Act like you knew my birthday.
I barely know my wife's birthday, okay?
Okay, I'll give it to you.
The rest of them, I have no responsibility.
No one else matters but your wife's birthday. As long as you know that and you have the week of your kids, I feel like you're golden. That's what I would.
I have the week of my kids. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
You're golden. You are golden. Well, you guys, this has been a really fun, different type of author.
It's been bizarre.
It's been so much fun. It's different to switch it up. This is why we like going live, because we never know what we're going to get and what's going to happen. And it keeps us on our toes, and it makes it really fun for me. But you guys go and check out Chad's book, Mob Justice. It's the sequel to Scavenger Hunt. Make sure you go and check it out. It is on Amazon and all the places that you can search for a book. So go and check it out if you like organized crime. But if you're in Texas, especially like the southeastern part of Texas, stay dry because there's more rain coming for like the next 3 days. So stay dry. But we hope that everybody has a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week. And until next Monday, bye for now, everybody.